Hello everyone, Professor Kuzlik here. I just wanted to do a quick upload and kind of talk about some of the new events that are going on with the Russia-Ukraine peace talks. So as many of you may have seen, on Friday, April 18th, Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, warned that the U.S. might be willing or is willing to walk away from efforts to broker a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia unless there are clear signs of progress soon. So this kind of came as a bit of a wake-up call, maybe, to the European community that the U.S. was kind of becoming frustrated with the state of the peace negotiations. This was further reinforced by President Trump, who then reinforced this idea by saying an end to the conflict must happen soon. So that was on Friday and over the weekend. So there was some speculation of what might happen early in the week and some speculation about where the peace talks would be early in the week. So there's been a bit of an update with that, which we'll talk about in a second. So when we think about finding an end to the conflict, one of the big sticking points, and something that I talked to my students about and others in the international relations community, is thinking about how the war ends and what lines, what borders will the conflict be frozen at. So is it the 2014 lines before the initial invasion of Ukraine? Is it the 2022 lines before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russia? Or is it a freezing of the lines where they're at today? The territory that Russia controls today, is that the freezing point? So that's really going to be a big sticking point in the negotiations. What does a ceasefire look like? What are the ceasefire lines? So this morning it came out in the New York Times an article saying that on Wednesday, when U.S. officials will meet Ukrainian and European officials to discuss a plan which is actually designed by the U.S. As part of this plan and as part of the proposal by the U.S. is for the U.S. to recognize Russia's annexation of Crimea. So when we think of, okay, how are we going to find an end to hostilities? What is that going to look like? It looks like the U.S. is going to propose, if they haven't already proposed behind the scenes, a plan to stop the fighting, but it would recognize Crimea as part of Russia instead of part of Ukraine. And the New York Times article said that this could be a hard pill for Ukraine to swallow, and so this might, as we can imagine, be a sticking point for Ukrainians to agree to such a peace plan. We already know the minerals plan has been a bit of a sticking point, and a lot of discussion and negotiation over that. So this might just be one more piece of a puzzle of how do we end this conflict and what does a ceasefire actually look like. So that's really the thing we should be looking out for here the rest of the week, tomorrow, see what happens at that meeting, and then what some of the readouts Wednesday and Thursday look like to see what the updated peace plan is between Russia, Ukraine, and our European allies. Thank you.